Hello, everyone. So let's go to the second question. What does the second question points out here? So it gives us the idea about which of the following, if true, would support or strengthen the argument. Strengthen the argument that the concept of the meme fails to fully account for human creativity. Now, if I talk about this particular question, the question is asking for information or statements that, if true, would make the argument that and the argument is what? That the concept of the meme is insufficient in explaining human creativity, more convincing or stronger. In other words, we need to identify which of the provided options provided provides evidence or reasoning that supports the idea that meme or memes, right? So falls short in comprehensively explaining the creative capabilities of humans, isn't it? Now, let's go for the means of each of the option and analyze it. So, which one will be considered as the correct one? Let's go to the first option. The first option says memes are primarily transmitted from one individual to another through imitation and replication. Now, if I look at the first option, this option doesn't strengthen the argument about the limitations of the meme concept in explaining human creativity. It simply describes what? A characteristic of meme. So, what does it describe? A characteristic, isn't it? Characteristics of meme. So, second is called as their transmission through imitation and replication, but it does not directly support or address the concepts or shortcoming in understanding human creativity. So, if you observe in that manner, then you would find out that option one doesn't consider the strengthening the argument, isn't it? So, this option is incorrect. Now, if you look at the second option points out what? Now, cognitive psychology cognitive psychology research has just shown that people have the ability to modify existing concept and also generating new ideas. Now, this one seeming like supporting to the argument. So, or you can say that cognitive psychology means which point out or which has shown that people have the ability to change, modify, or add existing concepts or mm, create new concepts and generating new ideas, isn't it? Now, in that case, we can consider it directly supports the argument. It brings in the goal of cognitive psychology research and demonstrates what? Demonstrate that people have the ability to modify right existing concept and generating new ideas. This evidence aligns, isn't it? This evidence aligns with the argument that the concept of the meme may not fully capture the depth and complexity, depth and complexity, complexity of human creativity. Therefore, we could consider that option two is the correct one, isn't it? As it logically strengthens the argument. Now, moving to the option three. Before I consider option two, is my answer or appropriate one, though it directly supports the argument. Yet we need to observe or analyze the other options also. Option three. So, what does option three say? The term the term meme is often misused and misunderstood in popular culture, leading to confusion about its meaning. Right. Now, if you observe this third option, it points out the misuses and misunderstood, right, of the term meme in popular culture. It doesn't directly support the argument that the concept of the meme fails to fully account for human creativity. It's more about that misuse and misunderstood, right? The term itself. So, therefore, this would be also not strengthening the argument. Look at the option four. Some artists have used memes as inspiration for their creative works, blurring the lines, blurring the line between image and traditional art. Now, if I look into this option 4, what does this option discusses? A connection between meme, right, and traditional art, but doesn't directly address the limitations of the meme, right? Meme concept in explaining human creativity. It shows up potential overlap, right? What does it say? Potential overlap between memes and potential overlap between memeage and traditional art, but does not strengthen the argument regarding the concept's limitation. So therefore, we could consider option 4 is also not the appropriate one. So therefore, we consider the answer option should be 2, which we have considered at the beginning, right? So option 2, option 1 is wrong. So we understood, or hence the answer option would be 2. Thank you. So let's go to the third question.